I am super, super excited about what we're to share with you as far as integrations and even just what we're seeing in the real estate market, what is happening, the services, the technology, and everything that is helping you, the real estate agent, the broker, the team, take your business to the next level. And the great news is it's doing all the stuff you don't like to do and that you're not doing, that we know is costing us money. So without further ado, Conversion Monster, we have Ro Malik and Jeremy Shinta with us. Guys, I want to jump right into this because I like to keep these about 30 minutes because I'm a real estate agent. My attention span isn't very long. And I get
Same here.
So we got a lot to cover. If you're watching this, post any questions in whether you're on Facebook Live or if you're in the webinar, use the Q&A or just post into Facebook. We'll try to watch those, answer them as we're going. But I want to dive right in. First of all, for those that don't know, Ro, Jeremy, whoever wants to, who the hell is Conversion Monster? What do you guys do? And how do you make my life easier as an agent or team lead?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for the introduction. Gabe, like you, I'm also a real estate agent. I have a team at Keller Williams, Chicago, Lincoln Park. I'm also the co-founder and CEO of Conversion Monster. Conversion Monster is a company of inside sales agents that are helping real estate agents all over the country convert internet leads into closings and commissions. We do it through systematic follow-up, long-term lead nurturing, and really speed to contact.
Wait, long-term lead nurturing, what is that?
Yeah, what is that? Most people are very short-term. That's actually one of our specialties. We actually will nurture leads for up to 12 months, which I think really sets us apart from a lot of our competitors and what a lot of real estate agents are doing actually as well.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's where we all fall down. If we're all being honest with ourselves. It's so easy to just buy more leads and go generate leads. And you know, we know the importance of speed to lead and all that, but agents who want business and fill that pipeline, it's not the new stuff, right? I mean, you guys are looking at databases all over the country. Where's most of that business coming from?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's exactly why I built the company. I mean, all the statistics are out there that from the time that an internet lead first comes online, when somebody first comes online to do research, from that time to the time they actually close, it's around 8 to 14 months. So most agents are giving up on that opportunity, you know, all within 5 minutes, of course, to establish that contact, but it's because we want to get in front of them from the very beginning and then maintain that branding all the way through the process for over the course of the next year. The problem is that we're all 100% commission. And when we hear, as soon as somebody says, oh yeah, I just logged on for the first time and I'm not looking to buy for a year, we're like, it's like Charlie Brown, like wonk, 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 wonk. And you're like, oh, great. Well, I'll call you in 6 months or I'll follow up with you in a few months. By that time, they're gone. By that time, it's already too late. You have to stay in front of them monthly all the way through the entire process.
Yeah. And before I go deeper on that, I'm going to come right back to that. I want Jeremy to introduce himself real quick, who you are and what you do with Conversion Monster, so you're not just sitting there like, hey, guys.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to take all the spotlight, Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy Shinta. I am the Director of Technology for Conversion Monster. I'm behind a lot of our technological advances that we're continually making every single day. There's always something in the pipeline, great new changes happening, and I'm the one that keeps them driving. So
awesome.
And I speak when spoken to.
I'm going to chime in on this integration, but okay, so I want to get back. I'm going to back up a little bit, rewind, Ro, and he's saying, most of these conversions are happening 8 to 12 months. Agents hear the want when it's like, yeah, I'm a year out or I'm not relocating, I'm just looking. And that's where you guys specialize. And what I love about this, and everybody who's watching this, you know, or if you've ever seen me speak, like agents' highest and best use isn't probably following up 20, 30, 40 times, which most aren't going to do it anyway. Their highest and best use is actually talking to people who are more ready to list or buy, you know, negotiating contracts, showing property, stuff like that. So you guys are taking all the non-dollar productive activities, but that's essential to fill that pipeline and letting the agents really focus on the under 60 days or 30 days or 90, whatever that team is. Is that accurate?
That's completely accurate. The idea is to give them leverage, right? So we're looking at this as an opportunity to provide the agent with leverage at basically 80% less than the cost of having to hire somebody in-house to do it for them. So what we're really doing is we're a lead filtration service. You know, we're going through, we're calling them within 5 minutes. We're trying to establish contact. We're trying to figure out, okay, who's serious, who's a tire kicker, who's not motivated, who's qualified, who's unqualified. Once we've established that, Then we have, a certain number of qualifying questions that we ask. But the real goal is, hey, are you looking to do something within the next 5 to 6 months? Are you looking to transact? Are you going to buy or sell in the next 6 months? If the answer to that question is yes, then we want to get that lead over to the agent as quickly as possible and have them handle it. If that person says they're 6 months out or more, we're going to nurture that lead on their behalf until they're under the 6-month mark. Because otherwise it's going to create too much work. And we found if you can just focus on those 25% opportunities we send over to you, you're just going to have a much better success rate than trying to manage everything that's just, oh yeah, I'm interested, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, then we send that over. No, keep it under 6 months because that's what I want as an agent.
So, well, and not only that's what you want as an agent, but you also want to know what's happening along the way, right? What's going on. So this is where I love, and Jeremy, this is where I want you to chime in. What we've been working on and doing is that all this nurturing, everything that's happening, the calls, the notes, the text messages, your team, you and your team, and Anthony, our dev team, this is all integrated now. So everything is in Firepoint, right?
That's exactly right. Right now, you don't have to question once you send a lead to us to work for you, what's happening. What's going to happen is every time we make a call, every time we text something, every time we email, that is going to pass right into their Firepoint. They're going to see it right in their leads. They'll see everything we see in our systems. They're going to see right in their Firepoint. No need for multiple logins. No need to even change what their routines are. We come in seamlessly through your ISA role. So you literally have one of the superior lead distributions of NCRM, if I have to say so myself. And one of the great things is they don't have to change any of that they're already used to. All they're going to do is slide us in seamlessly by us becoming a user. We're being put on as ISA users, and then the great use of their ponds and the accountability, they will still see everything right in their system. Everything's getting worked, every single note. It's just
so when you say, okay, so all I have to do is hand it off, because again, we're just getting going with this, everybody. I know we're starting with a client. Is it today? We're starting with.
We have one of our mutually largest clients going live today.
So we're going to do a follow-up, guys, with you guys, with this client, with Jeremy, with Ro, to see how it's going here in a couple months, so you can see the progress. But what I want to kind of make sure understanding, because this is new, when you say that we seamlessly, as an agent, hand it off or transfer it, how are the leads getting into your hands? Is it through lead distribution? Can it be sent if it's already in the system and they want you to start working? How does that work?
Both ways, actually. So new leads, it can come to us immediately. Basically, before an email normally can even reach an inbox, it's already in our system and being sent to our reverse dialer and getting it onto one of our ISAs, usually before the email even hits the inbox. It's that quick.
Oh, okay. So are you guys doing the initial calls and that speed to lead as well, or are you doing the long?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're doing both. We're getting that speed to lead right away. So before most people are even seeing the alert in their mailbox, we've already got it queued up into our system and usually on the phone with an ISA before they could have even dialed the phone, because it's coming through API, which is, microseconds. It's instant. So we are getting that speed to lead. It was one of our driving forces, as well as the long-term nurture.
So is it all or nothing? Or I guess explain to me, and I don't know, Jeremy or Ro, if I wanted to bring, my team over, somebody's thinking about it, and maybe they have great systems where they're getting great speed to lead, but it's the nurturing. Is it pick and choose, a la carte? Explain how that works.
Yeah, right now, the way that we're set up is it is all or nothing, right? We're handling all the leads that are coming over because that is our forte, which is the speed to lead. Because we're open 8 to 8, basically 7 days a week, right? So you need 2 full-time ISAs to cover the hours that we would do. But because we've developed the technology and the speed that as soon as a lead comes in, it literally reverse rings the next available ISA. They don't have to sit there and dial out. You're shaving off a minute, in that process every single time. So that's where it begins. And if we don't get a hold of them, then we start our cadence over the course of 10 days. And if we still don't reach them, we attempt 56 total contacts over 12 months.
Okay, so I'm going to back up a second, something you said, and I'm going to challenge what you said just based on my experience.
Sure.
So 8 to 8, 7 days a week, you need 2 ISAs. So I've been doing this for a long time, and at one point I had up to 4 ISAs on my team, and what I realized is I actually needed 3. By the time I'm accounting for vacation time, life, getting sick, and all that, when I had 2, I was still finding myself a day, a couple days, a month where I didn't have coverage because of life, and then it's tagging agents back in. So I actually think if somebody really wants, and as you should, 7 days a week coverage, 8 to 8, or those hours are, I think it's at 2.5 to 3 ISAs to really get that coverage. And what I saw was I had to post the ads, I had to interview, hire, train, and then accountability, all that. So you're taking all of that off the plate.
All that off the plate. Yeah. There's nothing to manage. There's no sick days. There's no vacation days. There's no holidays. There's no missing a beat, right? If somebody quits, it's no issue. If somebody's on vacation, it's no issue. There's no excuses. The coverage is always there.
You know, and it's not being said, but we're not just 8 to 8. We actually have live human coverage, even 8 at night to 8 in the morning for text and email coverage. So if somebody does text, like we normally have like a text that goes out when somebody puts in a lead, because if they're looking at leads at 1 in the morning, obviously this is around the time that they have this kind of free time. So we will reach out and text saying, hey, is there a good time to speak in the morning? You know, and we can, you know, get some groundwork going and have it where it's a nice seamless flow in the morning. So we are technically 24/7.
So, okay, so I'm glad you said that. So, I mean, tell us, like, what is the resume? Like, how long have you guys been doing this? And just give us a little bit of background. I know, Roy, you said you started it, but like, as far as the coverage, and then I'd also love to know, you guys were part of something pretty big last week and won an award. I want to give you permission to own that award and share that with us, what it is and what happened and why you got it.
Sure. So, I mean, as far as how it all began, I mean, we started it 4 years ago, right? With the idea of like, I actually needed help. I started this business based out of a need for my own business. Unlike most traditional realtors, I didn't have a database, or I didn't build my business off a database. I started with internet leads. I started as an ISA 18 something years ago and, you know, kind of, and worked my way through it. So I understood that animal. And I just saw that it was getting more difficult to convert. And I said, man, if I could use this service, I bet my fellow realtors could probably use something similar. Made that bet, made that gamble, and it turned out to be the right business for us. You know, fast forward 4 years here, and last week,
This is about you said 4 years. 4 years.
4 years.
Started a couple months ago.
Yeah, we started in October 2015 is when we actually started this business. So it's been a lot of work and process improvement and tweaking and A/B testing and learning and, you know, understanding it from the inside. And when we first started, there was not a lead management system that existed. Like, so we were working in their CRMs, but that wasn't scalable, right? And so we would get really big and then it would pull back. So we had to actually create and develop a lead management system very similar to a CRM that would go out and be able to integrate with other CRMs like a Firepoint to have that seamless integration. So that took some time. Now that that's happened, now we're really in our growth and scale phase. And so that's what's really been happening over the past year and a half or so.
Awesome. What happened last week? What happened last week? Good stuff.
Yeah. And then, so last week we were, there was a contest that was put on, or a pitch contest that was put on between Lab Coat Agents and co-hosted with Keller Williams Realty. And basically in the month of November, they said they were putting on an event called FutureCon, which was going to be held at the Aria Hotel in Vegas. And they were inviting 90 innovators, technologists to compete for 29 spots to pitch live. So we had to create a 3-minute pitch video that we submitted. Our colleagues, peers, everybody had a vote on it. And then we got so we got into the top 29. We were invited to pitch. I went to Vegas to pitch live on stage. It was a 2-day conference called FutureCon 19. Nick and Tristan helped host that. And we all had 3 minutes to pitch. We had a 4-minute Q&A. It's all the time we had. We all had to use the same PowerPoint.
You get done with your 3-minute pitch. You're on stage in front of how many people?
There was 500 people in the audience, invite only. And it was streaming live to 15,000 other people.
And they're just drilling you, right? So
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get through my pitch in 3 minutes. And then as soon as I'm done, it was a Q&A, right, afterwards.
No pressure.
No pressure at all, with all these top producers and people, you know, all over the country watching. And, you know, we thought we thought it was great to be there and get great exposure for the brand and got to, you know, speak to a lot of people, make all these networking connections. And then on day 2, we were kind of far down the list, and in very dramatic fashion, we just people started voting and voting and voting and voting. And we just like, I mean,
It
I
was
can't
at the
even
last
explain it.
minute.
In a matter of like 12 to 15 minutes, we went from like being in the middle of the pack to like in first place when they called it, and we won it all. And so what that means for us really is, and is that we're going to like be integrated and get an opportunity to work with a lot of Keller Williams agents and get into their ecosystem
That's awesome.
and sit down and mastermind with Gary Keller and Josh Team and some industry titans. So it's,
Well, congrats.
it's
I know a lot
There
of
was also a lot of validation for the hard work we've put in.
yeah.
I got to, if I'm being honest, it was definitely has had us floating since.
Yeah, own that, because it's tough. And Jeremy, well, we were all kind of talking about that. You and I, like, one of the commitments I want to make, especially going into 2020, and we really started this last year, is integrations, right? Giving these agents one login, but then they can really build their tech stack. And you guys are a huge part of that. And even, we chatted, I don't know, a few weeks ago, getting ready to launch this, like, you made a comment like, hey, if we could do this at lead distribution, it'd be a game changer, using your words. And we're building it. And what we want to do, and it's not like pat on our backs, it's just what we want to make as a commitment, though, is when we are working with and integrating with companies like you, like, how do we get so deep that the agents don't need to leave where they're going? They can bring on Conversion Monster and hire you, and everything's in there and it's happening, and they're ensuring that speed to lead, the follow-up. But then even like what you were talking about is how do we work with you guys to where you can have a role within the ecosystem to where when you get this hot lead or warm lead, that you can like drop it off like into a pond and notify everybody and track what's going on. And what I love about what we've had so far in this relationship is I feel like you guys are just as eager to make sure, hey, you can do it faster, you can do it right. And so let's do it right as quickly as possible, but make sure everything is there, for these agents. And so I've been excited working with you guys to really see where we can do this, hearing about you and knowing that you've been in the market for a while, and finally getting to do this and making sure that the integration is working so you guys can do your job so that the agent can do their job. So that's what gets me excited about you guys.
First, I got to be honest, I got super excited because I deal with a lot of different tech companies every day. We're constantly with different CRMs and, a lot of different companies. And I've never seen somebody take my opinion or advice or like saying, hey, this thing, we should do this. And you literally delivered within weeks. So you're talking about fast or right. You kind of did it right and fast. So that was really impressive on your behalf. And I was so excited when I got, the word from Road that was done, because it really is going to be a game changer on how, like, when you were talking earlier about like an all or nothing kind of thing, some of those changes actually is going to allow where it's not like all their leads are nothing. They can actually pick which leads they want us to work now.
Right.
We can be very specific with your rules between the tags and between the roles of what they're actually sending to us. And, just to circle back also, you said, can they send us something from their database that isn't through their lead? Yeah, just by throwing a simple tag on it. We have a simple tag that they can add at their own discretion and it still sends it to us like a new lead.
So they're not leading Firepoint. They literally put a tag on it. It's sending you everything. They're done. And now they can
immediately. We'll be calling it before they even close the lead.
Yeah. And what's great about that too is I don't know that we really had much request for the improvement that we made through lead distribution. And when you brought it up, it was something we could add. And now we're actually releasing it today. So it'll be live for everybody that's using Firepoint. And it's crazy now how other partners and or just our current clients like, oh, wow, that's good. That's going to change. So that's what I love is what you guys are working on when we work together and share. It's really just making a better experience for the agent and the team so that they can focus on what they need to focus on. Now, that's what I love about the collaboration. And to me, it's not really integrations. It's those partnerships to let people grow their business.
Yeah. And I think just like you, Gabe, like I come from a real estate background. I was a realtor. I'm thinking like an agent, like we're talking about like built for agents by agents, right? That's exactly the same thing that I was doing when I was creating the company. It's always with the agent in mind and what's best for the agent. And we're doing it. We live it. We're working those leads. We understand those leads. We're in the business. We have our ear to the ground every single day, right? And so we're always thinking about what is the best use for the agent and how to constantly improve the process for the agent.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, again, both in real estate, like even when you're follow-up, if you're not keeping the end user, it's the client's, I always like to say it's the client's journey, not ours, right? So your follow-up and everything you're doing needs to be with what's their end goal in mind, because you're going to help them get there. And it's the same thing that you and I have to do in our teams on the tech side is if it's not in the agent or the team's best interest getting to where they want to go, we don't have a business. And I, for one, and I believe you're the exact same way, I'm not going to get on stage in front of 500-600 people telling them that we're doing this for them if we're not. So that's why we love the feedback. And when Jeremy piped up and said, hey, we need this changes it, man. I love that, because that's how we get ahead. And if your team and my team and we can solve the problems before they're a problem, man, the agent's life and everybody, it just gets better. And that's what we want to do, elevate that game for this industry in general.
Yeah, that collaboration was great. I mean, we've never, like Jeremy said, just to circle back on that for a second, the fact that you took that idea from one conversation, implemented it, let us know that right away. And it was like, it's a game, literally said game changer in the email, and it is, and it was. We don't have that. I mean, not a knock against the other CRMs, but that relationship and just how quickly things turned around and acted upon, that made it more seamless for both of us, which made it a better experience for the client.
Thank you. And I'm gonna give a ton of the credit to Anthony and Austin, our team here. It was as soon as I got off that call, reached out to them, and you guys know how this works. Jeremy, you're on the tech side. Like, you know, we get a lot of the credit, Ro, because we're on stage, we get to talk about it. We're on the webinars, but my team knocked that out and really just made it happen. So huge credit to them. And I'm excited to see how it works, you know, with the team. So back to where we're at. So we're starting with one of our mutual clients as one of our largest clients, one of your largest clients. We're going to follow up, whether it's 45, 90 days to see how it's going. But I want to be able to dive in, have this client on the webinar and actually get in to show what you guys are doing real life, because I love that we can literally see what's happening as it's happening. So I'm really, really excited to be able to show everybody that. So I know that we're about 23 minutes in. We have some promos that we're offering people to get up and running. So if you're currently a Firepoint client, guys, this integration is live today, ready to go. Ro, Jeremy, where do they need to go if they want to learn more about you and see this promo to get up and going with you guys?
Go ahead, Jeremy.
We have a page set up right now that's conversion-monster.com/Firepoint. So if you go to our website /Firepoint, you'll see that we're offering free onboarding costs. It's a $695 value to anybody at Firepoint. As somebody who handles all the onboarding and that setup, I can tell you that we're pushing people through very quickly to live dates. Very rarely is someone waiting even longer than a week. You know, some people have come to us.
Onboarding from the time they sign up to where they're up and running and you guys are calling is how long?
Like usually about a week or less.
That's awesome.
I mean, and when you look at some of the other major companies that people sign up with, they're looking at like, I mean, we know we have people sign up with us that sign up with, you know, some of our other partners and are like, oh, we want to go live in a month and a half because that's when they're ready. And we're like, okay, well, we're ready for you now.
So too, well, again, kind of going back to what Rose was saying, like hiring guys, is training them. Your team, you guys are already trained. Everything's coming into Firepoint. You're not training anything, right? It's all there. It's ready to go. So it looks like Jacob just posted that link in the chat if you're on the webinar. And I believe he's posted it on Facebook as well. So if you want that link to check it out, go there. I believe you guys are waiving a setup fee for them so they can really just get in, get going, and start seeing. Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Sorry, told you it might happen. Didn't talk about this ahead of time. Give me a success rate. What is a typical office? When do they start seeing results when you guys get in there? When could they expect to start seeing handoffs and transfers back if they got going, let's say January 1?
Well, I think in terms of, I mean, obviously it depends on the lead source, but it could happen day one.
It does happen.
I mean, there's a
day
lot
one,
of
usually.
Probably database.
Yeah. If someone's a 50 lead and they got 2 leads that day, maybe not. But like the typical person that's 100 leads or more, day one, sometimes they usually get something from us, right? Because you got to remember, we have the quick converting leads. Like anyone can get the low hanging fruit, right? But then we have those ones that we're still sending you that maybe was a month or so ago, or 2 or 4 months ago. So the longer the time goes on, the more that builds, right? So you're still getting the low-hanging fruit every day, but now you start layering in the ones that take more time.
So when you guys are doing this, I'm just curious, because now I'm thinking through, again, speed to lead. You get somebody when you're doing it at the beginning. When through lead distribution, you guys are getting this. If you get somebody on, and if this isn't built, I want to get it built immediately. Can you then transfer that lead or drop it into a pond so that in Firepoint it notifies all the agents in a pond so everybody gets hit at once to claim that lead? Or can you be a member of that pond and mention them?
This is what we normally advise people do, is a lot of times people set up group numbers where we call the group number with a hot lead. And now in the case of Firepoint, we would be the ISA in that pond. So all of the team members that could receive that live transfer would also be in that pond. So if they answer the phone, they just go to the pond, they claim that lead, and now it's in their queue, but we're still the ISA on it. So if they got to hand it back and say, hey, you know what, they weren't ready, we're still connected to it. We can still keep
on there. And what's awesome is now we can go into the pond accountability and actually see who's claiming them and who's being available. That's awesome.
And let you know who's answering the phone, right? So, and then just like the group numbers, they can also have group emails, but we do tend to send the conversion email right to the person who answered the phone, not like a group.
And it's all going to be in the system. So that's awesome. So expect a week, and maybe with the holidays, I always, a week to 2 weeks, probably onboarding to get it up and running. The integration is going. If you're not currently with either one of us, Jacob, I believe we have a link for them as well. If you want to learn more about us and the integration, how it's working, and all the other tools once your agents get them, visit us. We're running some promos in conjunction with Conversion Monster, where I believe we're waiving the setup fee, and the first month's $1. I hope that's right because I just said it out loud. So reach out with us to show you what's going on. We're coming up around 30 minutes. Ro, anything you want to add real quick? Takeaway?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one final point is my whole intent here was to create a scalable model. And I'm just ballparking numbers here, but if you get 100 leads a month and we can contact 60% of those, and we can send you 20 opportunities a month, of which you close 3 of them, let's just say, for example, what I'm hoping that you do is that you understand that that's a scalable model. Then you can go get 400 leads and you can get 16 closings or 12 closings a month, or you get to 800 leads because it's just a proven out formula month after month. So we're providing leverage in order to help agents massively scale their business.
Well, and your help agent scale. And then I think not only is it the closings coming in that's income, but I think it's also that work-life balance for the team lead. Because as a team lead, I was constantly having to look, are they calling? Are they following up enough? And, a nudge, and you're really taking all of that away.
Yep.
So
and this is like a perfect example of the time where it's around the holidays, right? And leads are coming in. They're coming in on Christmas Eve. They're coming in on Christmas. And they're coming on New Year's Eve. And do you really want to step away and you make that call right away, or do you want us to call it? And if it's somebody that really wants to do something, is really interested, then when you see Conversion Monster calling, you're like, okay, I know this is somebody serious. I'll take this call.
In fact, I don't know if we defined that. So when you said you're handing off those the warm to hot, what is that definition? Is it time frame? What is that definition?
Yeah, the main point is time frame. So it looks like somebody that's looking to transact in less than 6 months. But then there's qualifiers, right? Which is, price point, neighborhood, pre-approved. We ask 5 or 6 qualifying questions, but the biggest one being, are they motivated? Are they really looking to buy or sell in the next 6 months? And if the answer to that question is yes, and they meet the other qualifiers, then what we want to do is attempt to get them on a hot transfer right directly to the agent to make that connection and a nice warm handoff right away, so that relationship is established versus like just trying to set the appointment for a call back later. Because sometimes that becomes difficult. People get busy. It's hard to get them back on the phone. Right. But that's always our number one intent. Is that hot transfer.
I love it. Jeremy, anything last from you?
I've just got to say I'm really excited about this. I can tell everyone watching, if you are ready to come on, we'll get you started real quick and before the new year where you can enjoy your holidays. So.
I mean, really, they help them prevent, these holiday slumps when you start seeing that dip, because what happens is it's the phone calls. It's the phone calls and the follow-up that we let go of creates that dip. So that's amazing, guys. I'm excited because I can't wait to just keep this going. Every time we talk, I want Ro, you, or Jeremy, you to say, wow, we just got deeper and deeper. We have the deepest integration. We're making this the best. That is literally what I want to deliver. So you guys can do what you're great at. Our clients can do what they're great at. And we just marry them together. So awesome. We will stay in touch, guys. The links again are in the chat, in Facebook. Thank you so much. I can't wait to get our mutual client on here in a couple months to see what you guys are doing, because we're now going to bring back up everything you said that you were doing. And we're gonna show this real time what's happening. So I can't wait to follow back up with you guys. Happy holidays! Congratulations also on your big win last week.
Thank you. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks,
incredible. So happy holidays, guys, and we will see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.